Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we are talking about mistakes that expat made before moving abroad. And we came up with a few points. So the first point that we are going to mention is visiting the country before you move it.
I think this is a good place to start. Visit before you move. You'd be surprised the comments that we get or the messages that we see where people have moved to Dominican Republic sight unseen because of what they've heard from other people. Now, you can do that. I don't recommend it because, if you're not that type of person that can adjust quickly, you probably don't want to do that. You probably want to come to the country, get a feel for it. And one thing about Dominican Republic that I think that may be different than a lot of other places that people tend to maybe retire in, is that Dominican Republic has so many different types of landscapes, and vibes, city, beach, eco, campo. And you want to kind of experience the country and kind of see which one fits you the most or fits you the best before you just up and say, hey, I want to move here to, Punta Cana or, Santo Domingo or Santiago. You kind of want to experience the country first.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes I see messages of people, they have even visited the country once, and because they see some other people videos about how the country is, how people are, they already ready to buy something and send a message, I'm ready to buy, I never visited, but I need help buying this plan or buying an apartment. Yeah, I don't recommend that. Every time that somebody want to come and move, or either here in Dominican Republic, because that's what we are, or any other country, the best thing that you can do is visit the place before you decide to move, because it is probably the perfect place or a good place for that person that's doing the video if they find it so amazing, but probably it's not amazing for you. So it's better for you to visit. And like he mentioned, it is so many different landscape here that you will see that you don't know what is it that fits you. Sometimes you think that, oh, what I like is this. So you have some people that say, okay, what is for me is the city. I'm a city person. I like what the business district is, and that's what I want. I don't want to go nowhere. But then you have some people that they don't know what they want. Right. And you probably think the cities for you or the beach towns are for you, but probably what is for you is the campo life, what is more quiet, it's river, it's just people, very quiet, don't do nothing during the week, just in holidays, and you don't know that yet. Sometimes you will find out in your way. So it is better for you to visit the country. It's just not visit the country, but visit different areas in the country. Like us, at first when we decided to move, we was ready to move to Punta Cana. That's what we said that we wanted. And then what happened?
We moved to Santo Domingo.
Yeah, because we was already, we set up call, visited places. We was ready to pull the trigger in an apartment that we really, really like, and that didn't work. And then we ended up coming over here for about a month, renting an AirBnB, and then after that, we decided that the place that we wanted to be was Santo Domingo. So at the end of the day, sometimes you don't even know what you're looking for until you have been in that place for a minute.
Right, because after being in Barbaro is a nice place, and I think one of the reasons why I got caught up into the Punta Cana is because I used to, when I wasn't visiting Santo Domingo, I visit Barbaro, Punta Cana. But I was always visiting like the resorts and things like that. So I got caught up in that resort vibe and, just having fun and things like that. Say, hey, this is how it's going to be and this and that. And really, that was not really what Punta Cana really was all about. You know what I'm saying? Then once I got there, it's a lot of tourists, a lot of foreigners. And it was like, it kind of like took away the authenticity of the country to me. And so when we came here, I kind of just enjoyed being here. Even though when we lived here in 2015, we never lived in the area that we're living in now. It was more like we just passed through it and we seen these areas. So we kind of lived, we did live in Santo Domingo Norte in Villa Maya, which, what I'm saying, it's all right.
That was the problem. That was the problem why he was ready to move to Punta Cana. I think when we used to come over here and visit, I was used to come first because I used to spend more time since my family was here. So every time I came, I was staying in Santo Domingo Norte with my mom, and then when he came to meet me here and then we lived together, he was coming to the same area. And then when we was going to stay some time away from Santo Domingo, we used to go to Punta Cana, and that's what he liked. But we always experienced just the same area, Santo Domingo Norte and Villamella. I think he wasn't ready for that until we rent that apartment here. When we came to live, we rent the Airbnb for a month. And when we live here in Distrito Nacional, then we realized this is the area that we want to stay in Santo Domingo and in the Distrito Nacional area.
And also, I'll be honest with you too, even when I was thinking about Punta Cana, I was also thinking about the safety factor. Like, the safety of, my family. Although Punta Cana is safer than Santo Domingo, in my opinion, Santo Domingo is not as unsafe as people make it out to be. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the area where we live in. So that was one of the reasons why I was thinking of Punta Cana in the beginning, because I was like, I want to make sure that, we're in a safe area. But, making the decision to come here was perfect. I love it here. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, if you listen to me, I have everybody moving to Santo Domingo, and everybody be staying in Naco or Piantini. So, it may not be for you, but it's for me.
You realize that because in every video he talk about the same area. So yeah, I know you should know that. So let's move on to the next topic, and the next topic is be realistic about your budget.
So with that being said, realizing your budget, meaning understand that whatever your budget is, that you need to be able to live within those means. You want to make sure that the money that you have coming in is sufficient in terms of the lifestyle you want to live. You have some people who have a limited budget but still want to live this luxury lifestyle, gated community, elevators, parking garages and things like that, but they have a limited budget. And on the flip side of that, you have people who have a pretty big budget, but they still want to live like a local, which I don't understand what that means. Well, I do understand. I don't want to be facetious. I do understand when they say live like a local, but typically when they say live like a local, they're thinking about the average Dominican. And when I say live like a local, I got a different point of view on living like a local, because we stay here in Naco in a tower, and everybody in this tower are Dominicans, and they're local. So when I say live like a local, I won't live like these locals.
Yeah, but I think that what people make the mistake when they say live like a local, it is, I don't know what that means, but for me, when somebody say that, is probably the chances are that you really don't want to live like a local, because for me, considering that local is what the majority of the people are here. You have to understand what is it that means living like a local for you, because it have different meaning depending on what is it mean for you. Because live like a local, like you say, is like living here, which is local. All these people are Dominicans, and they are local. So what kind of local are you talking about?
I think sometimes when they say live like a local, they're talking about living amongst the locals. So they, even though they have the resources to not live like locals, they just want to live amongst the locals because they're, they don't want to, spend that type of money. People think about, hey, when I come to Dominican Republic, like they think we crazy because we pay $1,300 a month to stay in this apartment. They think, oh man, why would you come way over there in a third world country to spend $1,300 when you can, live like amongst the locals and you can pay $500, $300 or $400? Well, it's because this is what we want to do. You do what you want to do. A lot of times when people say live amongst the locals, live like locals, they want to live amongst them, meaning they want to be able to pay the same type of rent they pay, their utility bill be the same, even though they may have the resources. Don't pay
the tourist prices, I guess.
That's basically what they're saying.
You don't live in tourist areas, because when you live in tourist areas, then is when everything go high. You probably want to live what the locals live, but that have probably a different lifestyle that they.
But believe me, they don't want the inconveniences of living
because
like a
there's a lot of
local.
That's what I was trying to say. It's
Right.
the different inconveniences that come when you living like a local. They probably you ain't ready for that.
Right.
I mean, you ain't ready because you haven't lived that lifestyle. Probably you ain't ready.
Cold showers, lights going off.
Light going off.
Yeah.
Yeah, no insurance.
No AC.
It's a lot of things that go off when you live like a local. But I don't know if you are ready for that, or you think that, okay, I want to live like a local, and you don't know what that means.
Right.
So with that being said, we have the next point, which is
Excess spending. And I think a lot of us, or a lot of expats get caught up in this one here, is that we get into excess spending. Because when we come to these different countries, things are so inexpensive, or some things are so inexpensive. I know you say not in Dominican Republic no more. Yeah, some things are not. A lot of things are not as inexpensive anymore, but there's still some things here that you can get inexpensive. And so when we pay those inexpensive prices for things, we tend to spend more because we have more disposable income. So what happens is that people start spending in excess, like more than what they would spend back in the States, because typically, you know, the average American is living paycheck to paycheck, so they don't have any excess money to actually spend. So, and I have to be honest that I'm guilty of that myself, because sometimes I overspend because some of the things are just, some things are just cheap here that, I find myself sometimes overspending. And, I just say, for instance, like, drinks, you can get a drink here for like $3, $4. You know what I'm saying? You can go out and you end up buying, 5 drinks, and they $4 a piece. You only spent $20. In the States, a drink costs you $20. You're gonna be kind of reserved about buying 5 drinks when you spend, and spend $100 on some drinks. So you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And tying to that, I know that it is something that you always mention, and then especially when we go out with people, they say, "Where is a good tip to go out?" You always mention that the people don't over tip. Like if you want to give an extra tip to somebody because they did a good service, which is good, I always go with that if somebody did. But he said, "Don't give me too much." I say, "What would be the average tip that you will do in the United States?" And sometimes people, when they come over here, they how you say, they will
Compare?
no compare, but they will tend to give more in tip here, I think.
Yeah, because we had a discussion with a guy one time. He was like, "Well, I gave this person this because in the States, that'll typically cost me X amount of dollars, so I ended up giving them this." And I'm like, you can't do that, And I'm not telling him what he can and can't do, but that's not why you do it. You don't do it because in your home country it would have cost you this, and so you have this extra, so I'm gonna give them this extra. That's not why you do it. You do it based on what she said. If the service is good, then you overtip. If you're getting the same regular service that you would get in your home country, why would you get a person more than what you would normally give them anyway? I just don't understand that. And I'm like, again, I've been guilty of that, because when I used to come over, a couple of dollars, that's nothing. You can have that, but you can't. If I was to do that, especially living here, everywhere you go, we mentioned this before. Everywhere you go, you got a tip. If I gave everybody through my day-to-day activities, if I gave everybody $3 in tips because I was generous, then I wouldn't have no money. Let me not say I wouldn't have no money. That'll be a bill. That'll be a monthly bill for me. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't think you should do that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree with that.
But you gonna have somebody say, "Well, these people, they don't make such and such, blah, blah, blah." They don't say that. You ought to be able to do that. They don't understand capitalism. Yeah. Capitalism is capitalism. It's not socialism. You don't just give money away.
Okay. Having said that, let's move to the next point, and is understanding the law. What do we mean with that?
I don't know. You tell me what you mean by
What we mean is, before, I think it's very important before or while you're in a country. I know sometimes when you live abroad, you just, I'm here. But I think not even depending on what you come over here to do. I think that understanding a few laws when you're living in a place that you are new, it is very important. Because a lot of things in a different country is not the same thing in your home country. The law doesn't work the same. Like, if you do this is wrong, or what's going to happen. If the police stop me in the red light, they're just going to give me a ticket. It's different things that can happen in the place that you go. At least to me, important laws that you need to understand it is, if you go in an accident, what would happen to you, or what you need to know, or where you need to go. If you are getting in a bad situation with a female or relationship, that's a lot that you need to understand what do country do, something that if you got in trouble, if you get in a fight with a female or things like that, because that can give you really trouble depending on the country that you are. What other law? Even you get in a problem with somebody, there is no even female or an accident. Just really another problem, type of problem that you get. What you need to do or what can happen to you. You don't want to end up in jail and you don't know what the hell you're doing in there or what you're going to do or what can happen to you. At least understanding a few laws, it will be very important.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and like I said, I always speak for Americans, and I know, Americans are arrogant, and we carry that with us everywhere we go. And again, I'm guilty of that, or have been guilty of that. Let me say that. I have been guilty of that. I've since have, understand how things work, that the world doesn't operate around Americans. They operate in their own society and their own laws. So, and so we tend to go places and we think that, the laws are the same. That I only did this, just like that girl that was, that got caught in Dubai that was screaming at the person in the rental car place, or allegedly screaming whatever she did. You saw people online. I saw people on in comments say, "Oh, she only just screamed that." Well, if the law says you can't scream, then you can't scream.
Like you're in a bad situation.
You don't have First Amendment and all this other stuff that that the privilege that the U.S. give us, which is great. It's fine, but you got to understand, when you're not in the United States, you're not in the United States, and you need to act accordingly. So like she said, if you get into it with a female and you get caught in some DV situation, or even if you get into some type of altercation with another male or another citizen of that country, you need to understand the laws. Accidents, you need to understand the laws. Don't come, because you don't want to come over here thinking that the same laws in your country apply. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, and they say this in the United States: ignorance to the law is not an excuse. Period. So I think understanding the laws in these countries is something that's very, very important, because it can mean your freedom.
Mm-hmm. And even one other law
and your pocketbook.
Yes. And I think another important law that, because I know and that we all know that a lot of men over here come because they like the females, and they come over here. What about if you have a child? What the law say about having a child? I know that a lot of men usually ask, do you pay child support in Dominican Republic? So even if you are just going over there being freely, having the multiple relationship with women, you don't know what will happen, then you want to know what happens if you have a child, if you're going to be just doing whatever out there. What would happen if you have a child? What does that mean? What can happen to you?
Right. And you're not saying you know the laws, but you tell them they need to figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the law because I never figured it out. Yeah, I just live here. It so happen I wouldn't know to call. I call probably my dad. I say, Dad, I have something going on. Just find me somebody or something. I don't know the laws, but I'm saying things that are important for you as a foreigner, that you need to understand. That way you don't get in any problem or altercation. Me, I'm here. I'm not trying to get in any problem, but I know sometimes things happen even though you are not looking for it. But as a foreigner, and then you happen that you don't know the language, and then you don't know what to do, then you at least know, in a case that you are in that situation, what you can do. So with that, we're going to the next point. And the next point is, don't think that the honeymoon going to last. What do we mean with that?
We ain't talking about honeymoon, literally a honeymoon.
Like after you get married.
After you get married, that don't last either.
It don't last.
Yeah, it do. It do. Yeah, it do. Okay. All right, I'm gonna shut up on that.
Okay.
All right. So what are we trying to say with the honeymoon doesn't last? It's not gonna last. It's meaning that the newness of the country that you're moving to at some point is going to wear off, especially if you're moving there for like a fantasy. And that's not the word that I was looking for, but I was looking for another word. But we can use that as if you're moving there for a fantasy. Like people say, "Oh man, I'm gonna come over there and I'm gonna be on vacation all the time. I'm gonna be on the beach." Or people say, "Oh man, it's beautiful women over there. Man, I'm gonna always be talking to women and this and that." Or I'm gonna be partying. At some point the honeymoon phase is gonna wear off. And you're gonna get down to reality, because when you go somewhere on vacation, it's not the same as living there. you know. And if you ask me, has the honeymoon phase wore off on me? I would say that I wouldn't say there was never a honeymoon phase, because there was a honeymoon phase about Dominican Republic when I first started coming. But when we moved back, there was not like a honeymoon phase. Like I was like excited, oh, this is what I'm gonna be doing. We get up and we live a regular life every day. We work, we take care of our daughter. We just live a normal life. So it's not like we're here on vacation or we're here to do X, Y, and Z. We're just here to live. So if you're coming here to live, just understand that that honeymoon phase at some point is going to wear off on you. It's not going to be roses and sunshine and sand every day.
Yes, I agree with that. I think that when you come over here or any other place to live, you have to have an understanding that when you used to come on vacation or before, we have a lot of people say, okay, I will be retiring in 5-10 years. So you think that when you used to come over here just on the weekend or used to spend 5 days on your vacation time, on your holidays, it's not the same thing that you're going to be doing every day when you come over here to live. I think that we have expressed this before in some of the videos. It is that you're going to have a normal life. So you have to think, what would I like to do when I have a regular life over there? I would like to go and work out every day. I want to do some people like to do, how you call that I do like some free work, like volunteer. If you want to volunteer, like give some free English classes to people that don't know. Things like it fulfill you at what you're living in here. Because that life that you used to come on vacation is not the same life that you're going to live every day.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you saying that, I agree. You need to have some type of plan that, that you're going to do, like, going to the gym. Have some type of routine, should I say, a routine type thing that you're going to do, going to the gym, maybe doing some volunteering, maybe doing some, maybe even having a small side job.
A bar, you want to put a little small bar right by the beach that you feel every day looking at people, looking at tourists, have a drink, and things that can make you feel good.
Yeah, because if you come over here and you don't have nothing to do, man, and a lot of times the same people that, be on, saying these things about Dominican Republic, they don't have nothing to do. What they do is they live this free life every day, which is fine. But we all know idle hands is the devil's playground. So you want to make sure you have some type of routine that you can do every day to kind of keep yourself busy. Because at the end of the day, it's only so much partying you can do. It's only so much drinking you can do. It's only so much, socializing you can do. You're gonna have to find something to kind of occupy your time.
Yes, you want to keep your brain. Your brain working in something new and different every day. You don't want to be working over say, what am I do today? I don't know what to do. You can get boring. But if you have yourself busy, even when people get old, have you seen when people, even when they retire, they say, I can just completely retire. I need to be doing something. I need to be occupied in something. Mm-hmm. So you need something to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Having touched that point, we're going to go to the next point is the focus only into getting in a relationship. So you have some people that the only focus they have going to a new country, a different place, it is to get into a relationship.
And that shouldn't be the main reason you go to another country or, even travel somewhere just because you want to meet someone or get into a relationship with. I think that's a big mistake that a lot of foreigners, fall into, is that, when they travel, they're looking to get into these relationships, and then when it doesn't work out for them, then they're sour apples. So you want to make sure that, when you're moving somewhere or you're trying to, start over, start a new life somewhere in another country, that you have realistic expectations or realistic reasons, shall I say, as to why you want to, go to these places. Like, I just need a change of environment, or, the weather. If you come into the Dominican Republic for the weather, you'll never get disappointed. You know what I'm saying? You can't get disappointed. You
I
know,
mean, yeah, even though that can get you disappointed if that's the only thing that you come over here, because let's say you like hot and like more hot, but
no, but the reason why you come to Dominican Republic because it's hot
it's
weather.
hot
So
with them,
if you're
okay.
coming for hot weather, you're never gonna get disappointed. You know, you're not gonna get disappointed. If you're coming here for the beach, you're never gonna get disappointed.
Yeah,
These
I
places,
agree.
these things are gonna be here. But if you're coming here for a female or a male or a relationship, if that's the only reason you're here, there's a possibility that you
That
can't
you
get
get disappointed, and then when you get disappointed, then
You blame the whole country.
the whole country, and then you don't go not like
They even
country.
blame you. I don't know why the hell you was born here.
They want to know what the hell I've been on YouTube talking about the country. To the female, doesn't work for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will be blaming me. That's true.
Yeah. And then they even go so far and say, you the only person, the only female in the country that's worth something. Now, you know how crazy that is, man. Yeah, I mean, the women that made them so mad that they'll say, when somebody say, well, what about Norberis? Oh, she the only one, she different.
Yeah, I heard that before.
Yeah.
So the next point.
5 million women in this country, but you the only good one.
No, I am not the only good
yeah.
one. That is not true. You probably haven't found a good one in your life, but I am not the only one. I am far from being the only one.
Right. So that's why you shouldn't focus on just having relationships when you move into another country. But of course, those things are gonna happen regardless, whether they're relationships of the opposite sex or they're just friendship type relationships. All that stuff is gonna happen either way once you get here and you start you kind of get into your daily routine of your life. That stuff automatically happens, but don't make that your main focus when trying to travel over here.
Okay. So our next point is social life.
Yeah.
What do we mean with social life?
Social life is pretty much the same thing, almost similar to relationships and also the honeymoon phase.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the same thing. Like people believe that when they come over here for vacations and things like that, and they meet people, and they, oh yeah, man, I was out there, I was hanging out with such and such, and man, we was having fun, and then when I move over there, we're gonna do this. Man, listen, people have lives over here too. So a lot of times people think that people are gonna hang out with them every day, all day, and that's just not how it really happens. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have, things to do. They have their own families, especially if you got people who live here. Now, if it's just people you meeting over here or they just, maybe doing some part-time here. But people who live here, I don't know anybody's schedule, but I'll just speak for us. We don't have time to hang out with people every day. We have a regular life. We have things to do. We're busy.
That's what we usually say to people, to email us when you get close to here to see if we don't have anything going on. So sometimes we have thin schedules that we need to do, and we don't have that feeling like any given moment say, okay, let's do it. Sometimes we do, because it happen to people say, oh, I'm here, can you meet us with me? It's depending on what we have going on.
So when you move here, there may be times where you don't see, some of the people that you may have seen often in your first few visits here, because like I say, everybody has their own life and everybody has their own family, and people are just not hanging out every day drinking and hanging out at the Kamado and just wasting time. I just say wasting time.
Just keep in mind that sometimes when you make to plan to come, that usually you buy a plane ticket and you let your friends and family members, whatever you have here going on, that you are coming that time. Most of the time people will make time for you. Like, I have a job, but I'll make sure that I take a day. Sometimes you hear it when they say, I'm gonna take that week off from work. I'm gonna take 2 days, that way we can do whatever. So some people know that people have things to do. Sometimes they make that time for you just because you are coming on vacation. But when you live here, everybody have their own life going on.
Right. And I've heard other people who live here say what I'm saying. They like, hey man, people just come and they pop up, say, man, let's go have a drink. It's like people are getting off the plane every day of the week. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, I gotta go out. I gotta drink on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And sometimes they just get tiring for people that live here. You know what I'm saying? People that live here, it gets tiring. And not only that, it's just, sometimes they got things that they have to do. So just understand, when you move here, it's not always that constant, socializing and partying. And not saying that it's you won't have any of it, but I wouldn't expect it. I would just say it like that. I wouldn't expect it.
Okay, yes, that is true. So going to the next point is don't lead with your wallet.
And I think most men understand that. I don't want to spend too much time on that, man. You don't want to lead with your and not even just men, women too. Don't lead with your wallet or your purse, whatever it is. And you guys understand that, because how you start the game is typically how you finish it. So when you meet people, you don't want to present yourself as this person with with endless cash or you're doing this. Be reserved. Be reserved. And I understand. I get it. You want to come over here and stick your chest out because you got your stimulus check and you got your bonus and all that stuff, man. And you got that extra money you want to toss up and you want to do your thing. But listen, how you start is how you end. So don't lead with your wallet. And ladies, same thing. Don't lead with your purse. I ain't saying be stingy, but be reserved. Let people understand you're not an ATM. That's the first thing I do. I tell people, I'm not an ATM. I'm just not.
Yeah, because usually when you start, like, let's say you probably do it once, but if every time you come or every time you go out, you'll be showing out, you will pay for everything, that's the same thing they're going to be expecting all the time. You're going to be expecting the same thing going to happen always. And then you're going to get tired. And then probably you won't say anything, but you're going to be thinking it. And the next time you don't want to go out with them people anymore because they're expecting for you to do the same thing.
Right.
So even if you do it once, just let them know. And this is not the norm. We're going to do it today because it's my birthday, because I'm here today. But then, meaning it ain't always going to be the same.
Yeah, because you're right. You do it once, they're going to be thinking you do it again.
No, even once. If you say, let's say not once, you went out the first time with them people, yeah, they don't know. But if you keep doing it, every time you go out, they're going to be expecting the same thing every time that you go out.
Right.
And that's something that you don't want. If you are the type of person that like to always pay when you go out, yeah, that's fine. I mean, you can keep doing it. But just know if you do it a couple times, that's the same thing they're going to be expecting always.
Right. So don't lead with your wallet.
The next point is don't think that you can get a job.
We ain't got to spend much time on that one because even though you made, I don't know how many videos, well, you made a couple of videos, but you said it many a times. Don't come over here expecting to work. And you'll be amazed at how many people still want to come over here and try to get a job. Hey, I'm a nurse. Can I, does this transfer? Or I'm a engineer or a lawyer or a dentist and this and that. Can I get a job there? And the answer is probably. The real question is, do you really want to? Do you really want to make the wages or earn the wages that that the country has to offer? That's the real question. And can you live here on those wages or live the lifestyle that you want to live on those wages? So I personally wouldn't recommend it. She's already told you before that she doesn't recommend you coming here to work. So I think that's a big mistake that some foreigners fall into, that, hey, they want to come in and work. But don't get me wrong. We've met people who actually work here, and it's fine. Not saying you can't do it, but just know it's not the same wages.
Yeah, it's not the same. And also, I think it's going to take or depend on some people. Like, if you thinking to come over here to enjoy life, probably getting a job, it won't be one, because if you are trying to depend on that job to then live life and live as freedom, you won't make happen, because first is about the wages that you can make here will not allow you to live life. I don't know what live life for you means, but if you're trying to go and travel and go different restaurants, having a job over here will not allow you to have that. It's gonna allow you to barely live. And I don't know if that's what you're looking for. Some people try to find a job just because they want to be busy. But you're making some other type of money where you will have a joy life, have to make, yeah, that probably can work. But if your purpose is to find a job, to make a living and enjoy life, that won't happen.
Well, one thing about here, man, and I guess it depends. You can correct me if I'm wrong, and and it also depends on the job. That most jobs here, a lot of the jobs here, you work 6 days a week, and I mean, you only get 1 day off. I mean, you want to come over here and work 6 days a week? You want to leave somewhere where you work 5 days a week and get 2 days off to somewhere you work 6 days a week and get 1 day off? The math ain't mathing.
That's right. And the next point, I think this is the last point, thinking that your business idea will work.
Yeah, we all got that business idea that we know that's fire. That hey,
Although we believe it's fire.
they believe that we believe it's fire. That it's the best thing since sliced cheese, and we want to bring it to that country because we've been to that country. We haven't seen it before. We know people need this. We know people want it, and they just gotta have it. And then you put that business up, and you realize don't nobody want it, and they don't need to have it.
Yeah, not to know what I wanted. It doesn't make sense for that particular culture of that particular country
And
or that
that's
particular
true.
area, because it can vary depending on the area. Because something that may work in some area, maybe don't work in some other area. But you have to figure it out before you put your brilliant idea out there.
True.
And then you hit that wall and say, yeah, I made a mistake.
Right.
Like for example, we was talking about the other day. You said, I remember you say, why do they don't have a collard greens?
Collard greens.
Yeah, that here. I said, why they don't bring that and then internationally have that as a, say, well, maybe because they will waste a lot of money because locals don't use that here. Locals don't eat that. So if they bring it over here, it has to be the foreigner people or other people would buy it. And probably they have make a study in the market that it is not that many demand for them to bring it over here.
Man, listen, how they gonna have no turnip greens and collard greens over here, man?
Because we don't use that.
Man, when I
That's
look at
why.
these people, they look like me, man. We eat them turnips and collard greens,
No,
man.
we don't, but Dominicans don't eat that.
They got cabbage, they got spinach, but they ain't got that turnip
No,
and
we
collard
eat
greens.
repollo, we'll eat lechugas, we'll eat tomates, and things like that, but that's why probably they haven't bring it over, or they don't even know we don't grow them in here because we don't use it. Culturally, we don't eat that. So sometimes things that people say, oh, they need that over there because they don't have it. My business won't work. Yeah, that's what people. If you really have a very good business idea and you want to put it out there, my recommendation is study the market. See how many people will be looking for, and then try to make you
Yeah,
business.
it's like the restaurant. When we had the restaurant, I know we continue to talk
my
about
God.
that. We always bring that up, but
my
yeah, you could tell we heard about that, man. We heard about our restaurant, but yeah, we had the restaurant, and when I used to come over here, I used to like, man, I couldn't find the wings. I was like, man, these people need that lemon pepper. They need the lemon pepper. They need that garlic parmesan.
I love the garlic.
They need that over here.
And the honey buffalo.
And they need that honey buffalo. While I can't find it. And you know what I said to myself? I'm going to
need
bring
that.
that over here. They
Yeah.
need it. I'm bringing it over here.
A year later.
And then when I got it over here, I realized,
That's the reason why anybody brought it over here. As a matter of fact, it was a brand from the United States that was here previously. You remember
yeah,
that?
so yeah, it was, matter of fact, yeah, you're right. So when I brought it over here, I realized that they didn't need it like I thought they needed it. I'm not saying that they didn't like it, because people who came to the restaurant really enjoyed we enjoyed it, but they
the
didn't need
demand
it.
was there like
they didn't need
we
it
need
like
it.
we need. Exactly, the demand wasn't there. And like she said, it was funny because there was a place I can't even remember. It was called Wing Zone or something like that.
Yeah, Wing Zone was
Wing
here.
Zone or something like that
Like
was
previous
here.
year, 2 years before we
And
came.
it was over here, and it was I think it was in San Bill or something like that, one of the malls, and it didn't work. And I don't know why that wasn't a red flag.
They closed, and
they
then we say,
closed.
why didn't it work here? But we didn't pay too much attention.
Right.
It was the reason why.
But like again, had we, like she said, studied the market, had we been in a place like Punta Cana, where when people walk by and they see Metro Wings, a place called Metro Wings, you don't have to train that customer what that means. They already understand these are wings. I go get me some buffalo wings. I get that lemon pepper. I get that garlic parmesan, them honey buffaloes. Man, I'm getting hungry as I'm talking about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go whip up a batch, man. So so you don't have to train those people to understand what here. When they ride down, they just see Metro Wings. They ride down the street, and Distrito Nacional, that don't register with them. So you got to know what your idea is, and you got to know your customer. And that's one thing that we messed up about, is that we didn't know our customer. and that's why our business failed. And I'm not ashamed to say it.
But yeah, the same thing. If you have a good idea, there is a lot of things here within that you are missing, but you have to study the market and know where you're gonna put the business idea. So I think that's all we have. Do you have anything else? Yeah, I think that's what we have. If it's anything that we haven't mentioned, because I know that always people experience or have different experiences. If it's anything that we missed, if you want to share with us, just leave a comment down below or just send us an email. Until next time,
Peace.
bye.